it's Lady Saru here, and welcome back to more Persona 4 Arena. So, anyways, we're basically, wrapping up the story mode. And, let's see. At this point, we are gonna do the next Naoto's story. So I asked people, and basically what everybody told me is that once I should complete Naoto's story next, then Labrys's, and then once Labrys is all done, she unlocks the second half of everybody else's story. From there, I'll do the second half of everybody's story and see how it goes from there, right? Sorry. That's nice. So, anyways, if many of you haven't seen my my Christmas update video, I just want to say, my most recent update video, which I updated on Christmas, December 25th. Basically, over Christmas, I got my hands on a Vita. And I was able to grab Persona 4 Golden, and I've already planned out and have decided that I'm going to do a playthrough of Persona 4 Golden. I will say this, I'm not doing it directly after I finish this. Basically my plan is, by the time I upload this, I should have completely uploaded, Beyond Two Souls, or in the process of uploading last session. Either way, by the time I upload this, I have already completed Beyond Two Souls. Amazing game. So that leaves basically Persona 4 Arena and Half-Life. I have not forgotten about Half-Life, either. So basically what I plan on doing is, after I'm done with Persona 4 Arena, I have another game that I'm gonna start, basically, and I'm also gonna be working on finishing up Half-Life once I'm done being lost. But yeah, once I'm done being lost, I'm gonna continue with Half-Life and another playthrough at that. So yeah. So let's get into Naoto's story. I'm waiting for this to kind of all wrap up very nicely in a bow. So, yeah.
Those are my impressions of the organization called the Shadow Operatives, as well as their leader, Mitsuru Kirijo.
My fingers fly across the keyboard. This is like a really bad time for me to talk because I don't know if I sound different, but the side of my jaw, if many of you don't know, I have braces. And I had to get my braces adjusted, and right now it's rubbing up against the side of my mouth. So my mouth hurts, so if I sound very different, it's probably because of that. So. Oh, shit. Okay, my fingers fly across the keyboard. My last case was special. I need to complete my report before I forget any important details. My name is Naoto Shirogane. I'm a detective. The Ace Detective. The Shirogane family have been working as detectives for generations. Though I'm young and still in high school, I have been given the opportunity to take on several cases and have built up experience as a detective. My work has earned me some trust, as every so often the police will come to me for my assistance. That's where this story begins. A sudden request from the Inaba Police Department. That was about a month ago, early April. Huh. Hey! I know that place. I know that gas station. Ha ha ha. Anyway, last summer I had received a request from the prefectural police to come to the town of Inaba. A bizarre series of murders was occurring. A corpse would turn up every morning after a foggy night. In the end, it turned out to be the most difficult case of my career. It's been about 2 weeks since that case was closed. No, from the public's viewpoint, 4 months have passed since the crimes were stopped. The culprit has been arrested and prosecuted. Peace has returned, but to return there is a depressing proposition. I'm not unwillingly to help the police again, but my involvement with the previous case is not something I like to go through again. To be completely honest, the particular case was no simple series of murders. During the course of my investigation, I obtained a supernatural power known as my persona, making me more than just a detective. I am the ace detective! I collaborated with other persona users and became directly involved with the events of the case. Of course, if I was to tell this to the police, it would be treated as nonsense. Worst case scenario, I would be discredited. Having to leave out those details while explaining the events of the case is more than a little nerve-wracking and feels like lying, but there you have it. Well, on my way to the police department for this new case, I go through a list of possible questions and answers I would need. Something's different today, though. After greeting the receptionist, I'm not led to the usual dull meeting room. Instead, I'm taken to a reception area on the top floor. So this is all in April, I'm assuming. A leather-trimmed sofa, a curved wooden table. A nouveau riche setting.
Looks like this may take some time.
If this was just going to be paperwork and basic questioning, they wouldn't have brought me to this special room. Is it a new case? I have to wait several minutes before someone comes to speak with me. When the door finally opens, a man wearing a suit, not fitting the uniform of a local officer, walks in. Okay, so it's that dude. He hands me his card. His card has a lengthy title, National Police Agency, Security Bureau, Security Planning Division. Holy shit! I was shocked. They're more commonly known as Public Safety Police. The Security Planning Division is the command center for departments that handle terrorist threats, coup plots, and foreign affairs. The Secret Police also belong to this group. Why would a person of this importance come all the way to a royal local like me? Like this. Locale. I look him in the eyes. He appears to be measuring me up.
I see you're enough on the ball that you don't need a lengthy introduction. Good.
Without any further talk, the man gets to his point.
Have you heard of the Kirijo?
I doubt there are many who haven't.
I'll get right to the point. We'd like to hire you to perform a sub rosa investigation.
You need a corporation quietly investigating. Why me? I don't see what I can do that your own department cannot.
I would agree if shadows and personas weren't involved.
OMG! This time, I was unable to hide my surprise. But the man continues, either failing to see or purposefully ignoring my reaction.
One summer 12 years ago, there was an explosion in the Kirijo-owned Tatsumi Port Island, killing over 50 people. You would have been very young at the time.
I've reviewed that case. The official explanation was that a gas main leaked during a construction project. Afterwards, though, a bizarre rumor saw quite a bit of circulation.
The mass media noticed that there was a suspiciously large number of researchers amongst the casualties. They floated the theory that the official explanation was a lie, and that the explosion was really caused by some dubious experiment.
No concrete evidence was ever found to support those claims, though. As I recall, the matter was left unsettled. Some may still remember the incident, though I don't think many can recall the finer points.
Those rumors were all true.
His voice becomes firm.
What?
Those researchers under Koetsu Kirijo, or the Kirijo Group Management, were working on harnessing the power of shadows. The experiment went awry, and they lost control of the shadows. That's what caused the explosion.
that couldn't be helped. Law can only preside over the world as we know it. Things that can't be explained can't be governed.
Only those in the Kirijo group know exactly what happened and how much of the aftermath is dealt with.
The aftermath.
That word has a bad ring to it. It brings to mind a cover-up of some dark secret.
Their cleanup efforts continued until quite recently. They were using some method known only to them, entirely behind our backs. We think they've been conducting illegal activities in the 10 years since then, while hiding behind their cleanup efforts.
And you wish for me to confirm this?
Not only do you have a relationship with us, you have a persona and extensive experience in the field. We can't think of a better candidate.
And since I'm not directly affiliated with the police, if I were to be caught in a trap, it wouldn't lead back to you.
If that's the way you want to put it.
My reply was meant to be sarcastic, but this conversation is exceptionally draining. I must applaud public safety. They know everything about anybody they choose to investigate. There's no point in trying to bargain with them. He continues explaining his indifferently, as if able to sense my resignation.
Last year, in conjunction with the Kirijo group, we established an unofficial department of the force, named the Shadow Operatives. It's a special unit capable of dealing with shadow-related cases.
This is news to my ears. That's a rather bold move. You went so far as to join forces with the ones you suspect of illicit activities?
That's exactly why we did. We must keep a leash on them by integrating them into the system.
But the police are far behind information-wise. Officially, you are higher on the chain of command, but less so in practice.
I tried throwing out a theory as I begin to get a grasp on what's taking place. The man didn't so much as flinch, but he didn't give me much of an answer either.
You need some leverage to keep your hold on them. Thus, this secret investigation. What exactly do you want me to do?
That will depend on your answer.
So that's their game plan. I figured as much. An organization as big as the Kirijo group is hiding the secret about shadows. Now, should I take the job or not? As a person with persona abilities, I'm naturally interested in learning how much is known about the shadows. And this job could potentially give me leverage over the government in the future. While I'm deep in thought, the man continues as if he can read my mind.
If you think we're hiring you to further our organization, you're mistaken.
I can't help but look at the obvious change in his tone.
Our sources say it's possible that they've been talking students from the Kirijo-owned school into their dirty work. They've been pleading ignorance while making ordinary kids clean up whatever messes they've left. And that, we don't forgive. We're supposed to be upholding the law. We can't overlook things like this.
He's surprisingly sincere. He's staring right at me. Unlike up until now, his eyes are strong and bold. He truly doesn't want anyone innocent to suffer. Of course, this could be an act to convince me, but even then, I do agree with that opinion. All that remains is to find out Kirijo's intentions.
All right. In that case, I accept. Though I don't plan on abandoning my school life here. I'll do what I can to help, but only within those limits.
I would never have dictated conditions like this before. But the reason I had come to this town and transferred to Yasugami High School was all for my investigation. But the school life and the dear friends that I've gained have become irreplaceable to me. It may sound childish to demand that I stay with my friends, but if they refuse to budge in that regard, that's that. However,
That's fine with us.
he accepts my condition, almost too easily. He then immediately begins to explain the details of the case.
At the end of this month, the Kirijo group is airlifting some special cargo. Kirijo has asked our help making sure the cargo is transported safely.
Oh. I see. I see.
We'd like you to accompany them as a police observer.
They even have a risk scale for something like this. It seems that Kirijo's research goes into a variety of different things.
Also,
As I'm thinking, the man slides a photograph to me. It's a beautiful young lady. Her eyes show a strong will as striking as her blazing red hair. Her hair reminds me of something. I may have seen her picture while going through the documents regarding the Port Island incident. Of course, the girl in those pictures was much younger.
this woman will be on that flight. Her name is Mitsuru Kirijo.
Kirijo.
She's the oldest daughter of the Kirijo family, Naoto Shirogane granddaughter. It was he who devised the experiments 12 years ago. You should know that she's also a powerful persona user.
A persona user besides us? I was suspecting something like this, but to hear it out loud is still shocking. So there are persona users other than those of us involved in the case last year.
We believe she took the lead in gathering students 3 years ago when she was still in high school. We'd like you to first go to her residence and meet with her.
Alright.
I'm sure you figured out by now, since she's a high-ranking Kirijo group official and persona user, but she's a Shadow Operative. She's member number 1, the general manager. Not because she's a Kirijo, but because she has the abilities to back it up. When you do this, she's dirty, and this won't be easy.
I already accepted your assignment, so I must simply make the best of it.
I offer my hand. He has the firm grip of someone who's worked on the front lines of the law. A few days later, I receive a message informing me that the transport is to be on the 1st of May. It's on a school day, but since I've taken the job, there's nothing I can do about it. In fact, I should be glad that this didn't overlap with the extended holiday. I haven't heard the details, but I expect to have some important arrangements during Golden Week. Arrangements to reunite with my upperclassman Yu Narukami, who was the leader of our group during last year's incident. I keep thinking about our reunion. It's only been 2 weeks since he left, but it feels much longer. I suppose that goes to show how much I'm looking forward to it. But I'm going off track. I need to think about my new job, so I hastily pull myself together. Interesting. Limousine. May 1st. The cargo is due to be transported from a laboratory near the Kirijo mansion. I make my way to the mansion to present myself and end up accompanying the security detail. The limousine is incredibly long. Apparently, it isn't all that rare for the upper class in other countries to ride in cars this large, but it's downright comical on the tiny roads of Japan. That was where I met Mitsuru Kirijo in person.
Nice to meet you. My name is Naoto Shirogane. I'll be acting as an observer today. I've been told about you. It's nice meeting you as well. I'm Mitsuru Kirijo.
Her beauty is enough to attract anyone's attention. She was so much less imposing than in the picture.
I didn't expect the police's observer to be so young. Does that bother you? Oh, no. I didn't mean to downplay your abilities. Forgive me.
I took a look at Kirijo-san's face. She's the only daughter of the founding family, but it's been 2 years since she renounced the practice of the Kirijo group being run by the family. In other words, she's simply the CEO's daughter now, not the heir to the company. She must be used to constant stress, being a female leader at such a young age. Getting people to acknowledge her must have been a struggle. I don't need to mince my words in dealing with types like her. I decided to cut to the chase.
Tell me, what are the contents of your cargo? I'm ashamed to have to admit this, but since the original researchers have passed away, I don't know what's in it. We can't allow the worst-case scenario for such an item to come to pass in the middle of the city. That's why we plan to transfer these items to a
A natural decision. Her posture, her action, if that was all an act, I must commend her for her ability to deal with the unexpected. But personally, my impression is that she's a trustworthy person. Before leaving, I have a chance to see the Kirijo mansion. I have to say that it's surprisingly simple. It wasn't just empty luxury, but something rather more rational. I feel that it shows what kind of person she is. At any rate, her intelligence and presence are proof enough of her upbringing. If she was hiding something, it would be hard to figure that out.
Then I'll stay near the cargo along with the police escort. I'll contact you immediately if anything happens. All right. If anything is unclear to you, feel free to ask me.
Her eyes look straight at me, and I feel like she could see through everything. I end our conversation shortly after and quietly wait for us to arrive. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! Bookmark! Sure. Oop. The limousine, transport truck, and multiple security cars reached the airport without any incident. The cargo may be dangerous, but according to the records, it was kept safely in storage for the past 10 years. Plus, it is worthless to the average person. Because of this, the people involved in the security don't look tense. Kirijo-san hands her servant her travel bag. It's almost as if she's simply going on vacation. Yakushima! The plane's destination is to one of the southern islands. I'm sure it'd be fun to go with everyone. I realize what I'm thinking and have to laugh to myself. A year ago, I never would have considered that it would be fun to spend time with others. But I can't help but think that way now. Soon they'll begin moving the cargo out of the truck. Yes, that is totally a car. I clear my mind of daydreams and look back to the truck. They pass through the gate for large cargo shipments. The shipment is in imposing metal cases, but among all the other shipping containers, it doesn't attract much attention from the airport staff. It's not long before the final case is unloaded from the truck. It's obviously different from the rest. It's covered in what seems to be heavy industrial grade steel. It's about 1 meter wide and broad and 2.5 meters tall. It looks like something very special is in there, but even if someone was targeting the shipment, it would be impossible to steal that. 4 men in suits slowly tip the case sideways to place it on the cart. Seeing it on its side reminds me of something. It looks like a coffin. The moment I realize that, a shiver runs down my spine. It doesn't look big enough to have room for a person to lie down. Oh, it does look. Could there really be a person inside it? Could it be that this tight security is not to prevent theft, but to keep the cargo from escaping? No. How can I imagine things like this without any proof? I shake my head to clear it of these pointless thoughts. Am I just shaken because I heard this as something to do with shadows? Eventually, the check-in process is complete and the announcement to begin boarding echoes through the airport. I relax a little, relieved that nothing has happened up to this point. And then the hijacking. Once the plane takes off, the only thing in our way is the sky. I had to put on an earpiece tuned to the police radio to keep up with the current situation. So far, nothing was out of the ordinary. Kirijo-san's group finished checking in and had boarded the plane. The cargo should be loaded soon. After I supervise that, I'll check in and... Just as I think that, an urgent voice jumps onto the band. I have trouble mentally shifting gears after the long period of inactivity. I never imagined I would hear that number with my own ears.
7,500. A hijacking?
Is the plane I'm investigating being hijacked? That can't be a coincidence. But could this have been set up by the police or the Kirijo group? No, there's no benefit for either of them to get involved with the general public. If that's the case,
Is it the cargo they want?
there really is someone after the cargo. Wait, if they're after the cargo, why hijack the plane? If they're not trying to steal the cargo, could they be after Kirijo-san? No, that doesn't feel right. Hijacking isn't an efficient method to carry out a kidnapping or an assassination. If they had the time and the resolve to pull this off, they would be far better off trying to take over the plane in mid-flight. I can't figure out their objective. Why would they do something that attracts so much attention? Attention. This is a very peculiar time to attempt to take over the plane. Very peculiar indeed. Hijacking before departure forfeits the biggest benefits of hijacking. But at the same time, all normal airport operations will come to a halt while everyone turns their focus on the plane in question. The airport will naturally stop loading baggage onto the plane while this hijacking goes on. It's the perfect distraction. So they are after the cargo.
If that was the case, the hijacking is only a decoy. But would they really risk their lives hijacking a plane over one piece of cargo?
As I think, I scan the area from my viewpoint in the boarding area. I see a van that had been parked near the cargo area suddenly peel out. A suspicious departure at this time? I have a bad feeling about this. But the cargo was just unloaded right in front of my eyes. I didn't see anyone steal it. Hold on. The 4 men in suits with the handcart. I don't see them. I'd lost track of them in the rush of the activity after the hijack call. I grind my teeth and interrupt the radio call.
This is 002, over. A suspicious vehicle is leaving the scene. Stay in pursuit. It's a large vehicle, about 2 tons. License plate.
Huh. I hear someone confirm that with Roger, but there's shouting and confusion going on in the background. I'm unsure if my intentions had been understood. I run across the airport by myself. I need to grab hold of these people's tail, even if only to get a few hairs. Of course, there's no way that I can catch a vehicle on foot, but I have a plan. I run down the escalator and bolt for the passenger pickup area at the arrivals lobby. I looked around outside and there it is, just as I thought. The suspicious vehicle was coming this way. The airport's rows lay out in a loop. After leaving the departure lobby, cars must take a turn and curve back around to the arrival lobby before being able to reach the surface streets. I hide in the crowd and wait for the van to get close. And as it passes by, I throw a small, sticky lump at the van. Luckily for me, it strikes and sticks low on the van's side. There's a compact transmitter in there. You'd have to be pretty close to pick up the signal, but it's better than nothing. I take my hat off and wipe my forehead. The pedestrians around me begin to stir. Everyone stops and stares at their smartphones. I didn't need to look. I knew. The first news of the hijacking is hitting the media. I put my hat back on and pull the brim low. I'll have to be careful not to let all the information flying about confuse me. I keep my guard up as I quickly walk back to the departure lobby. Another 45 minutes pass without any more clear information coming through. There's chaos on the radio and people are in a panic. But after an hour, the confusion suddenly stops, and a shocking report comes in over the radio.
All personnel on scene. The suspects have been apprehended. The hijacking is over. I repeat.
They dealt with it so soon?
Though some passengers were ill, there were no casualties. As far as I know, the hijackers didn't even make any demands. It's hard to think that the police could have negotiated with them. But on the other hand, there's no indication that the special assault team had stormed the plane. Did the group surrender now that their decoy objective was complete?
What's going on here?
Just then, a radio call came in directly for me.
Operator to 002, over. The hijacking has been dealt with, but the transfer must be cancelled. The whereabouts of one piece of cargo cannot be confirmed. All indications are that it has been stolen.
Then that vehicle earlier. Are you still in pursuit?
We're tracking it through the end system. Head to the guest room immediately so we can discuss our response.
It looks like my call to report that suspicious van had not been a mistake.
Understood.
Bleh. Oh my god. Half hour into this and still in story. Okay, hold on. Just put Mike down there. I am getting a drink. And I am just gonna munch on this real quick. Okay. Soon after, the involved parties were gathered in the VIP room. Kirijo-san and the police were talking hurriedly. But because there's a lot of confidentiality information being discussed, it was only expected that there would be some difficulties in communicating. At any rate, the van on the run can be tracked through the end system. The hijackers were handed over to the airport police, while those of us who knew the truth about the cargo were moved to one of her buildings.
That was a very timely operation. I thought it would take at least half a day. To put it delicately, we had someone with special abilities handling this. Again, though we prevented any harm from coming to the hostages, we lost the cargo. Nothing for it, I suppose. Who would have expected an entire hijacking to cover up the theft of some cargo? I must apologize to you as well. That was the closest at hand when it happened. No, you did more than enough. It's thanks to your sharp eyes that we're able to track the suspicious vehicle now. I'm impressed that you realized in all the chaos that the cargo was the true target. You even spotted their getaway truck. Thank you. Our next step should be to interrogate the suspects in custody, and sadly, it won't be that simple. I haven't heard much yet, but it seems they're having unexpected difficulties with the interrogation. It will take some time. If they were prepared to risk their lives for this operation, I suppose they won't break so easily. We made an error of judgment. We were too focused on preventing the item itself from doing any damage. But since they targeted something so unusual, that should narrow down the suspect pool. I can't deny it's possible that someone connected to the Kirijo group is behind this. Thank you for your assistance, Shirogane. I'm sorry to have involved you in this mess. The professionals will take it from here.
Professionals? In other words, she plans to investigate this herself as a shadow operative.